So, guys, Premier League football returns this weekend for Manchester United against Brentford at Old Trafford on Saturday afternoon, where Erik Ten Hag is still much still in charge of this football club, where we did kind of expect a decision in these 2 weeks we've been on this international break to see Erik Ten Hag potentially would have been sacked. But Erik Ten Hag still has the backing of Ineos, and they are still willing to give Erik Ten Hag a chance to turn things around for Manchester United this season. And I think in these next three games that Man United are in, Manchester United have to win all three. And obviously, we start the weekend against Brentford at Old Trafford on match day 8 of the 24-25 Premier League season, where Manchester United have got to win this. I can't break it down enough for you that, United are in a very, very peculiar position where we didn't really expect Manchester United to be in, fighting amongst the bottom teams in the league currently in this Premier League season. And Manchester United have got 7 points from 21, which is really, 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 really poor from a Manchester United point of view. This is a season where we honestly thought with the signs we made this summer, we were really going to push on and climb up that Premier League table. But Manchester United have been nothing more than a disgrace this season. And I can't understand what Manchester United's plan is for the rest of the season if it goes wrong at the weekend. I mean, are they going to sack Ten Hag after the Brentford game if we don't win? Are they going to keep him in charge still if we get a point? I mean, even if we lose, are they still going to back him and basically throw away the rest of the season? Because Ineos, for me, have made a massive mistake keeping Erik Ten Hag at the wheel for Manchester United currently. And I think the manager's job for him is too bigger than his boots. And I think Erik Ten Hag really should have been dismissed in these 2 weeks that we've been on this international break. And I think Ineos have made a massive mistake. Ineos had to make a decision. Ineos had to make the correct decision. But I told you Ineos was the worst thing ever to happen for this football club. And I think Ineos have made things worse. I don't think things have got any better. The situation doesn't seem very clear. And there's been no communication despite the two meetings that Manchester United had last week on Monday of last week and Tuesday of last week, that Erik Ten Hag's future was mainly discussed amongst the board and the owners of this so-called great football club. And they still didn't communicate the decision to Erik Ten Hag, and they clearly can't make their minds up what to do. And I think, if you look at Brentford, they are doing well. They're doing all right so far this season. If you think about it, they've not exactly got the points they probably would have wanted to have. But Brentford are playing better football. Brentford are performing better as a team, and they are scoring a lot of goals. In their last Premier League outing at the Brentford Community Stadium, they beat Wolves 5-3. And Brentford in their last 6 games have always scored in the first minute. So Brentford have to be stopped. Brentford are going to come to Old Trafford with a lot of confidence, a lot of positivity, and a lot of confidence going forward with the ball, because they are scoring a lot of goals. And they are getting points that they do deserve to get wins from. And Brentford have got a style of play under Thomas Frank that is recognisable straight away. Brentford play very, very good attacking football, and they always attack the opposition goal. But they do leak quite a lot of goals from their defence, and their midfield battle isn't exactly as strong as what it could be. And I think Brentford are going to come to Old Trafford with a lot of confidence from their last win against Wolves. And I think when you win 5-3 and you've got the confidence of scoring a goal in the first minute from your last 6 Premier League outings, then that's only a sign of positivity for Brentford fans going forward for the rest of your season. I think Brentford have been a blessing since they've been in the Premier League. They've been a very, very stable Premier League club, and they've never really got involved in a relegation fight. And again, this season, I think Brentford will finish mid-table. I think Thomas Frank is doing a fantastic job at Brentford. Even though they've lost Ivan Toney in the summer transfer window, Brentford and me have already pushed on. Maybe Ivan Toney was holding Brentford back. Maybe Ivan Toney was getting used to the Premier League and he wasn't exactly scoring a lot of goals. And he wasn't in their plans for their last few Premier League games. And I think moving Ivan Toney on for Brentford's probably been the right and the correct decision to do. But I think, Brentford, they do score goals. Like, let's be honest, they do score a lot of goals. They have got threats from the wings. They have got threats down the middle. And I think what Brentford have done, they've recruited well. Brentford have got a very, very good team of specialist recruiters that bring in quality, young, youthful players that can offer a quality attacking approach going forward for Brentford this season. I think the acquisitions of Carvalho from Liverpool was an excellent signing for Thomas Frank's side. Obviously, he's in and out the team for Brentford at the moment, which, as a big signing with the money you pay Liverpool, you're kind of expecting that signing to go straight into the team. But I think with the quality Brentford have got at the moment, I think mainly Brentford's biggest threat so far this season, and I would have this player at Manchester United, is Mbeumo. Like, Mbeumo for me is Brentford's talisman. He is their best player going forward, and he scores a lot of goals and he creates a lot of attacking threat on that right wing. And I think for me, he's mainly Brentford's star player now. And again, I think a lot of bigger clubs will be chasing the likes of Mbeumo from Brentford in the next few transfer windows, because he is their talisman for goals. He always knows how to create, and I think his speed is also a very, very big threat attacking Manchester United's back four. But I think Mbeumo also, he offers quality going forward on that right wing. He's not selfish with the ball. He provides a lot of quality service into the opposition penalty area. And I think Mbeumo is a quality player that would probably suit Man United's style down to a T. And I think for me, he's probably Brentford's biggest threat going forward for Manchester United at the weekend, where, again, we've been on this 2-week international break, which, again, has been, in my view, quite pointless. I don't understand why we've had to play teams like Finland and Greece in England's perspective. And I don't understand why, we've had to sacrifice quite a lot of our players through injury again. So the international break hasn't really helped us. So Erik ten Hag will probably come up with the excuse, well, we've got injuries. The international break has really not helped us. We could have done without this international break, which I do agree with him on some aspects. The international breaks are completely and utterly pointless. I don't know why we're having to play these games against minnow teams in international football. I don't know understand why the UEFA Nations League even exists, because for me, it's nothing better than the Carabao Cup. And I think for me, Erik ten Hag will probably use that as an excuse. Well, the injuries haven't helped us. We are facing an injury crisis again. But I don't think, for me, Erik ten Hag has got anywhere to hide. I don't think he can come up with injuries as an excuse. I don't think Erik ten Hag can hide that. I think, we have got injuries. We have got players that have come back from international duty injured. And that is going to be a big blow. I mean, we could have done without that from a bigger point of view. We could have done with all our squad being fit, because if you look at the numbers we have still got currently unavailable, that list is growing. That list is getting bigger again. And Erik ten Hag will use that as an excuse if the results start going bad again. And I don't think, for me, Erik ten Hag can get away with that. I don't think Erik ten Hag, for me, really can use, well, the injuries are a problem. That's why we're not achieving results. That's why we're not getting the points we're getting. Erik ten Hag has got nowhere to hide this weekend. If this ends in a Manchester United defeat, Manchester United are going to have to pull the trigger, and they're going to have to do it very, 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 very quickly, because the season's over anyway. The Premier League campaign's been a nightmare. The European one isn't exactly going to get any better either in the Europa League. And as for the cup competitions, we are relying on the Carabao Cup. We're relying on the FA Cup again. And Manchester United's season is in absolute turmoil. This is the season where, we wanted to move forward as a football club, and we really wanted to push on with the players we were able to recruit in the summer transfer window. Half of those players haven't been used. Half of those players have been required to the bench. And half of those players we brought in are now injured. And surprise, surprise again, once the international break occurs, our players get injured. Manchester United will suffer. Our results will go pear-shaped. And the manager will absolutely use that as an excuse as much as possible if the results start going pear-shaped. At the end of the day, Erik ten Hag has got to get on with it, and he can't complain, he can't moan, and he can't really say the injuries are a problem. You have still got players available to you that are good enough to be able to start in that Man United starting lineup. You've still got players that can do you a job, but those players have clearly given up. The players have thrown the towel in, and we have waved the white flag for the rest of the season. That is how I'm viewing it. I think the white flag has been massively waved on so many occasions already this season. I don't see how this is going to get any better at the weekend, because Brentford are a very, very good attacking side going forward. The only negative about Brentford is they concede a lot of goals. They did concede 3 goals against Wolves in their last game. So they're defensive. They're quite weak. They're quite vulnerable on the defensive approach. But on the attacking approach, I think Brentford are a completely different kettle of fish compared to our last few Premier League games. But again, Manchester United have to win, because 7 points from 21 is not good enough. We are in a relegation fight. We are facing a major, major crisis with the manager again. And we're getting near that bottom 3. I mean, the dreaded bottom line that I thought Manchester United would get nowhere near, Manchester United are creeping towards that dreaded bottom line. And the problem is, if results go pear-shaped this weekend and we don't win, Manchester United are going to be in a position where we aren't going to be able to turn this around. The season is going to be a relegation fight, and we could go down. We could get relegated. We could be in the Championship. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but the position we are in, Erik ten Hag has got to start picking some points up. He's going to have to start picking up some results, because if we lose against Brentford, Man United are going to have to sack Erik ten Hag. There is no reason why we couldn't have sacked him in these 2 weeks that we are in. This international break should have been a pivotal moment for Ineos and Manchester United to come together to make a big decision regarding the future of Erik ten Hag. Why he is still in charge, I don't get it. I told you when Ineos came in, I don't trust them. They are working alongside the Glazers. They are working with Afram and Joel Glazer. They are working with the Glazers. They don't want to sack the manager because it's going to cost the club money to sack him. That is why Erik ten Hag is still in charge. Because if we have to sack him, we have to pay him out, and it's going to cost the club a fortune. At the end of the day, Man United can use that as an excuse as much as you want. But the problem is, the more you use that as an excuse, the more worse this situation is going to get. Because if you lose against Brentford and you lose against Fenerbahce and then you lose against West Ham, what are we going to do? What is the big plan after that? What is the plan going forward? If you lose those next 3 games and you sack ten Hag, what manager are we going to go for? Who's going to be the new man to bring success back to this football club? Who is going to be the guy to get this club moving in a positive direction for the rest of the season? Because the big problem Manchester United have now got, Thomas Tuchel is now officially the New England manager. And I've seen a lot of fans, especially a lot of England fans, throwing their toys out the pram because he's not an English manager. He's a German coach. At the end of the day, Thomas Tuchel has won trophies at Chelsea. He made them champions of Europe in his debut season, and he got success instantly back at Chelsea. And he won Champions League final and lifted the European Cup for a second time in Chelsea's history. People are moaning that Thomas Tuchel is not good enough to manage Manchester United. Thomas Tuchel was available to get in these 2 weeks. Thomas Tuchel was sat there ready to give the job to. Where I am putting the blame on, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Omar Barada, Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilcox, Sir Dave Brailsford. I am putting the blame on all those 5 muppets for not making a big decision to remove this manager. You should have sacked ten Hag and take the bullet. You should have sacked him, paid him out, and got a replacement in. Because who are we going to go for if we lose these next 3? Who's the replacement for Erik ten Hag? For me, there are 3 managers that are up for grabs now that I would like personally. My dream coach would be Jurgen Klopp. I know it's not going to happen because he's taken on the Red Bull project at Leipzig. Zinedine Zidane, I would take Zidane in a heartbeat, but would he want this squad? Would he want these set of players? Or I would take the Sporting Lisbon manager, Ruben Amorim. For me, I think that's who Man United are looking at. There's a release clause in his contract to obviously terminate his Sporting Lisbon contract as manager, and we could do that. But Manchester United, I don't feel like want to do that, and I feel they're still backing Ten Hag to turn these next few games around to see how it goes for the rest of the season. Man United have had no balls and no guts and no enthusiasm to make a good decision. And I told you, Ineos are making things worse. They don't want to make big decisions. They're sacking people on the spot for the sake of it. They're getting rid of people that have been so iconic to this football club. And what I mean by that is Sir Alex Ferguson has been removed from Manchester United. He's been sacked by Ineos from his ambassador role because it was costing the club 2.16 million a match for him to be there. They don't want Sir Alex Ferguson anywhere near the dressing room anymore. What the fuck is going on at this football club? Ineos were meant to be turning things around. They have come into this football club and absolutely ripped everything apart. That was absolutely properly, make decent decisions, but don't get rid of the people that are going to make this club for what it is. Because you've kicked the best manager out of this club that's ever been, who rebuilt this club from scratch, and you've kicked him out. You've got rid of him and you've sacked him. Sir Alex Ferguson should have never, ever been removed from this football club. Sir Alex Ferguson should still be there attending games. But Ineos, I don't trust them. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is a snake. Ineos are a snake. Sir Dave Brailsford, Jason Wilcox, Omar Barada, Sir Dave Brailsford, they're all snakes in the dressing. They're all snakes in the office. They're all snakes in the boardroom. They don't want to make big decisions because it's going to cost the club money. So what happens if we lose to Brentford? Are you going to sack Ten Hag? Are you still going to keep him? Because, again, we aren't performing. We're not picking up results. We haven't won since September the fucking 17th. Where's the next win coming from? Where's the next result coming from? We need to start winning games. If we don't, where's the plan? Where's this structure that was meant to be getting us back up here where we are still down here again? Like, the third season, we needed to start moving on. We needed to start moving towards our rivals. But unfortunately, every rival that's above us now are just growing their momentum. They're moving further and further away into the sunset because Manchester United are too incapable of being properly run off the pitch as well as being properly run on the pitch. We've got a manager that has clearly lost the players, has clearly lost the dressing room, and clearly the players have given up now. They don't want to try anymore. They don't want to put the effort in. They would rather have someone else new that isn't Ten Hag so they can then eventually throw that manager under the bus and then repeat the cycle. Man United are a bike. Man United are a bicycle. They're just going to keep repeating this cycle of shit over and over and over and over again. This is the fucking problem. It's not just the manager. It's the fucking players that are playing for this football club. And if Erik Ten Hag wants to start getting things right, this has to start this weekend. All this favouritism of Rashford and Bruno Fernandes and Dalot has got to stop. You need to stop using Joshua Zirkzee because he's now gone 8 games without a goal. We need to start getting Rasmus back in this team, starting down the middle, because obviously we've got 2 strikers that can't score any goals. And we've got wingers that are being played out of position or clearly not on form, are still getting selected, again, based on pure favouritism alone. Manchester United are trying to get by with favouritism of certain players being the face of this football club. If you've got players that can't score goals and you've got a midfield that is lacking quality, what are Manchester United meant to be doing against rivals that are going to come to Old Trafford trying to pick up points? Because if you fail to lose against Brentford, which I do feel we will, I do feel we will lose against Brentford. I do feel that is what's going to happen. I feel we will lose. I can't see Manchester United getting 3 points this weekend. I'm not feeling confident. I'm not feeling positive because I think these players they've run their roost in. They have run the season away, and they don't want to try now. And they've given up on you. And the players are responsible because they're the ones trying to perform for you on the pitch. But if the players aren't listening to the tactics and the tactical approach from Erik Ten Hag, then they're also to blame as well as Erik Ten Hag for not getting the best out of these players. So there's something quite big going on that we're not knowing about. But Ten Hag is picking the team. Ten Hag is picking these players. And Ten Hag has got to take responsibility for his team selection. He's got to take responsibility for his options off the bench. Because I don't get it that he's got all these big name signings that he's been given the money for and he doesn't want to use them. I don't understand that. I don't get on Erik Ten Hag's momentum under that. I don't understand why certain players are not starting games for this club. It makes no sense. For me, is Erik Ten Hag still annoyed that certain players have been sold and certain players that have been brought he didn't want, and Ineos have gone and got in players, and Ten Hag's not happy about it? Is that the issue? Is that the problem? I don't know. But you know what players I'm on about. You know exactly what players I am on about. Agate is the pure talking point here. Agate, apparently rumoured from MUFC MPB, this was going to be a pivotal week for Erik Ten Hag to start integrating Agate into Man United's team. This was going to be the week to start integrating him. What's happened on international duty? Agate came off injured for Uruguay last night. Agate came off injured. And what's annoyed me, we've paid 60 million and he's already out injured because I think because of the lack of fitness and a lack of first team football that Erik Ten Hag has given him. And the problem is he's making Uruguay suffer because he's not been given the game time at this football club. He's not being selected and he's played 195 minutes. So he's played 100 So we played 95 minutes against Porto. We played 96 minutes in our last Premier League game. So there's 191 minutes without any competitive football for Manuel Ugarte. And he's come back from Uruguay injured. He went off injured for Uruguay last night and is now injured again. I mean, again, that is a big, big blow to the midfield because the midfield is already congested full of injuries. We've still got no Mason Mount. We have got no Kobe Mainu. So the midfield, again, my big fear, that midfield is going to be Eriksen, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. That, for me, is what the midfield is going to be at the weekend. That is the only conclusion that midfield is going to be. Because if you haven't got Ugarte and you haven't got Mainu, we've then got no midfielders off the bench. I hope everyone understands that. The midfield options have gone because Mainu and Ugarte are both injured. Mainu came off injured. I think was it against Tottenham, and he's done his hamstring, but he got called up for England, and then he got sent back from England to Manchester United because he's got a hamstring injury. And Ugarte apparently has come off injured last night for Uruguay because of the lack of fitness and the lack of game time. That again is on Erik ten Hag. We paid 60 million for Ugarte, but which took us 3 months to purchase him from PSG, and he's injured already. That, for me, the whole blame of that has to be on Erik ten Hag, because Erik ten Hag should have been selecting Ugarte straight away. Erik ten Hag should have been using Ugarte straight away. Erik ten Hag is refusing to use Ugarte because he's fucked off McTominay's been sold. And Manchester United had no choice but to let McTominay and Hannibal Mabry go because Man United were desperate to bring Ugarte to this football club, as well as Ugarte himself wanting to play for Manchester United. Manchester United took 3 fucking months to bring Ugarte in, who was crucial to take this midfield back to the next step, back to the next level. And Ugarte is injured already. And I feel sorry. I'm not blaming Ugarte. I am blaming the manager of this football club for not integrating him away into the philosophy and into the structure and into that midfield. That Man United's balance has been completely lacking because we've got 2 old age pensioners in Casemiro and Eriksen that are both should have been shifted in the summer, which Man United didn't want to do because they were too committed to the football club and the way they've brought structure and the way they've brought stability when they've been playing back in the team again. Eriksen's done fuck all since he's been back in his team, and so has Casemiro. Ugarte was meant to be the man to get this club back to the next level. Ugarte was meant to be that man in that midfield that was going to bring the best out of Kobe Mainu and bring the best out of Bruno Fernandes. When you've got no Ugarte, that means no options off the bench. I hope Erik ten Hag realises what he's actually fucking done. You have left Man United, Erik, in a really shit situation where your midfield is back to the same midfield it was under you in season 1. We are back to Eriksen, we're back to Casemiro, and we're back to Bruno Fernandes again. I mean, I thought that midfield was meant to be getting better. That midfield it's gotten worse. I'm sorry to say it has, because I don't think Mason Mount will be involved. I don't think even Kobe Mainu will be involved at the weekend. And plus, with no Ugarte, United then have got no options off the bench for the midfield. So I don't understand how the hell our midfield is going to be any different in these next 3 games. Because if you've got Mount and Mainu out long term, as well as Ugarte, you know your midfield for the next 3 games. It will be the same 3 under season 1 under Erik ten Hag. It will be Fernandes, Casemiro and Eriksen. That is what's going to happen because we've now got no midfield options for these next 3 games. Man United have absolutely messed up here, as well as Erik ten Hag himself, because we took too long to bring him in, and I get that. We took 3 months, way too fucking long to hurry up this Ugarte signing. Man United should have got on with it. Man United should have hurried up, and Man United should have made a decision to go for Ugarte or not. It shouldn't have taken 3 months. Man United should have paid up, coughed up, and got that Ugarte in. As soon as that transfer window opened, Man United should have been the first priority target was to get Ugarte in straight away to balance that midfield. But apparently, the reason we couldn't do that is because we held on to McTominay and Hannibal Mabry too long. And this is why Ugarte is injured, because he's gone to play for Uruguay on international duty. He's not match fit. He's not match 100% fit to play. And Ugarte has gone in and got himself injured. Well done, Erik ten Hag, for absolutely screwing up Ugarte's Man United career already. 1 season in, Ugarte looks like he's going to be a flop. Because if he's injured, and I don't know what injury he's got, But if he's out for weeks, we are fucked. We are basically screwed because Mainoo's out for 3 to 4 weeks. So that's a month. Mason Mount is nowhere to be seen again. So how long's that midfield going to be with those three currently we've got left? How long's that midfield three going to be? How long is it going to be with Eriksen? How long is it going to be with Bruno Fernandes? And how long is it going to be with Eriksen? Because if that is the midfield three, we're fucked. We're absolutely fucked. And it's not the only position in the team that we are fucked at the weekend. Because if anyone saw the news, Mazraoui is out of a heart problem again, which I didn't know about, by the way. Mazraoui has been a magnificent signing, one of the most underrated signings for me in the summer transfer window for any club so far in the Premier League, in my view. Mazraoui is out injured. He's had to have surgery on a heart problem that he had at Bayern Munich. He's had with the Moroccan national team. And Man United, the heart problem he's got has now got worse and he's had to have an operation on it. Mazraoui, apparently, with the rumours, he's out for 2 months. So what that's going to do to the back four, again, we are fucked because we are back to Lindelof. We are back to Diego Dalot again. And potential, if the rumours are true, what's going to happen at the weekend? We're going to start Johnny Evans at left back. I mean, what is the thinking behind starting Johnny Evans at left back at the weekend? What's the thinking of that idea? Who's brought that idea to fruition? Whose idea is it to start Johnny Evans at left back against Brentford? Whoever idea that is, don't fucking do it. I know it's not the best option, and I know I don't want Johnny Evans at left back, but why the hell did no one pick up that Mazraoui has had heart problems in the medical? Why was this not picked up? Why has this only been picked up now? What has been going on with this football club? What secrets are Manchester United keeping from the fans and the support about certain players' problems in their health? Because if Mazraoui's got a heart problem and he's had to have surgery to resolve that problem because he's been suffering with heart palpitations, which is not good, by the way. If Mazraoui has got a long-term heart problem, he's in danger of collapsing on the pitch. He's in danger of his health getting worse, and he's in danger of making the problem he's already got even worse and into his long-term future for his health. His health has to come first. For me, we have made a massive, massive mistake signing a right-back who, again, I believe is the best right-back we've had ever for the last few seasons, in my view. A massive upgrade on Wan-Bissaka as well as Diego Dalot. But if he's got a heart problem, we have then got no fullbacks. I hope everyone understands what that means. That means now Victor Lindelof, who was meant to be surplus requirements in the summer, is coming back into the team. Is going to end up having to be put in at right back because we've then got no left back. And there was loads of people circulating at the weekend that Luke Shaw and Malacia could both be back this month. Absolutely forget about it. Forget about it. It's not fucking happening. Malacia is still injured. Luke Shaw is still injured. And everyone's expecting them both to be back this weekend. It isn't happening because both their injuries are still long-term. Luke Shaw's another 6 to 8 weeks away. You've not been told that, but on Twitter, it's there. It's there to read on X, on Twitter, whatever you want to read. Luke Shaw's out for another 6 to 8 weeks because of the injury he's already got surrounding the injury he already has. That's another 6 to 8 weeks on top of that. And the rumours again, Malacia will be back this month. Malacia is still injured. He's further away from getting back fit for this football club. I don't think Malacia and Luke Shaw, for me, should ever play for this football club again. They're both injury prone. And again, signing Malacia was a massive, massive mistake. So the positions to improve that back four, what we were meant to be doing, are both injured. So whoever's idea was it to sign Malacia and Mazraoui, I hope they're hiding somewhere or getting a cushion to cover their eyes because I'm going to absolutely go for you. Why did you not recognise that Malacia's injury record was a problem? Why did you not think Mazraoui's heart problem was an issue? Because he's not just risking his health, he's risking his career by playing on with a heart problem. That is going to get worse. And we don't want to see a repeat of the Eriksen situation where he collapsed at the Euros playing for Denmark. We are taking a massive risk here, but I'm glad Man United have got this surgery done, and we are going to have to hope Mazraoui is back quick. But what I'm trying to confirm to you is we have got no fullbacks for the rest of these next few games. We are going to see Lindelof and Dalot at left back and right back. That is what's going to happen again on Saturday. We are playing two players out of position because the players we've got aren't fit enough or injured or have got health problems on the side. That isn't good enough. I'm sorry to say, that ain't fucking good enough. Man United should have signed 2 new left backs in the summer and they should have signed 2 new right backs. Man United knew this was a problem. Man United should have known, shit, if Mazraoui's got a heart problem, we are going to need another right back. We've got no left back. What are we going to do? We'll put Delo there. I mean, it's just covering up the paper. We are papering over the cracks again. We are papering over the fucking cracks again. And I wish Mazraoui back healthy soon. I really, really do, because having a heart problem is not something you want to hear on the pitch. You don't want to realise that your heart is causing you a problem and that you've had to have surgery. And we all wish Mazraoui a quick and healthy return. But I want him to take his time. But we are going to need Mazraoui. That's what I'm trying to get at. We are going to need Mazraoui back quick. Because if we don't, we are stuck with Lindelof and Delo in that back four for the next 3 games in a row. Mazraoui's out for 2 months. We ain't going to see him back till January, in my view, because it's going to take 2 months for that surgery to bring Mazraoui's heart problems down to a level that is going to be suitable enough to play. And the doctor and the heart specialist might rule Mazraoui out of playing ever again, because if he's got a long-term heart problem, he's going to then have the problem that Eriksen had. When Eriksen had that heart attack at the Euros, he wanted to go back playing Serie A, and he had to have a defibrillator fitted in his heart. Serie A said, no, we can't let players play in Serie A with a heart problem. It's risking them, it's risking us, and they don't allow people to have, players with defibrillators in Serie A football, which I think is disgusting and a disgrace, by the way. But we are screwed. And if the back four you thought couldn't get any worse, it has got worse over these last few weeks, because I'm not saying he's going to be a big miss, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's Harry Maguire. We've got no Harry Maguire either. So the main back four are all out injured. Harry Maguire doesn't start. It will be De Ligt and Martinez. But that's all we've got. That's all we've got in that back four. We've got De Ligt, Martinez, Delo, Lindelof, and that's it. We've got no other back four for this weekend. We've got no rotation and no subs off the bench. Harry Amas, I bet you didn't know, is also out injured. So we won't be seeing him being put in at left back. So again, that's Maguire, Malacia, Shaw, Mazraoui, and Amas, all out injured for this football club. So we've got none of those 5 available for this weekend. So if we end up losing Delo, Lindelof, Martinez, and De Ligt, the midfield ain't just screwed. The defence is going to be fucked. Because again, where are the options off the bench? We ain't got any. There's no other centre-back. And it's not exactly Yoro's going to be back anytime soon. I mean, the rumours are true that Yoro's not going to be back till January. So what's going to happen now? What happens if we lose De Ligt? What happens if we lose Martinez? What's that back four going to be congested with? It's injury-prone FC in that back four. That back four, as much as it should be strong, is weak, because we've got Lindelof at right back who ain't a right back, and you've got Delo at left back who isn't a left back. And Erik ten Hag can say, well, we're going to have to get on with it, but you've left the left back absolutely wide open for debate, and you've left the right back position absolutely wide open to debate, because you've got Mazraoui injured, Luke Shaw, Malacia at left back injured, and you put in Delo there. And Delo isn't exactly great at left back. I honestly think Ineos and Ten Hag have massively got it wrong in the summer. I think both of them, their recruitment alone has been absolutely fucking shocking. I think it's a disgrace. I don't think it's good enough. I think Man United's recruitment in the summer transfer window was an absolute disgrace. Not signing a left back was a massive mistake, and not signing a back at right back to Mazraoui, look how much that's come to bite you on the ass. So again, the back four is imbalanced, the midfield's imbalanced, and as for the attack, well, what attack have we got? Because I've not seen any attacking threat from that team in the last 5-6 games. Because again, a lot of people are circulating that Joshua Zirkzee is going to go out on loan in January. That ain't going to happen. If you think Zirkzee is going to go out on loan in January, that ain't going to happen. Because again, I know he ain't scoring goals. 8 games without a goal is a bit of a joke. And it's been a very, very, very bad signing. And I'm seeing Manchester United fans and supporters arguing amongst each other. Why is Zirkzee being criticised? Why are we throwing Zirkzee under the bus? Well, He's gone 8 games without a goal. He was meant to be the striker to solve our goal scoring problems. And you're now seeing rumours of a loan move to Juventus. That might happen. I'm not saying it will happen. But if he don't start scoring goals, does he stay next season? I don't think he will. I don't think he should be starting against Brentford. I don't think he should be starting on Saturday, because we are nearly in November now. November. That's nearly 3 months without a goal. What was the planning of signing Xerxes? He ain't going to solve the goal scoring problems. That was bullshit to cover up that we couldn't get a proper striker in. And I think Manchester United have massively let this happen. I think for me, this is on Man United, I'm afraid, because you should have got Harry Kane when you had the chance. Osman was available to you on loan from Napoli, and he went to Galatasaray. It's just not good enough, I'm afraid. It's really, really, really not good enough. And I think for me, this is on Manchester United for not finding 2 proven goal-scoring strikers. Because it's not like Rasmus Højlund's ripping up trees for Denmark now. And it's not exactly ripping up trees since he's been back. So I worry about the lack of goals on Saturday going forward, personally. And then what infuriates me of Ten Hag, which I keep seeing week in, week out, is the continuation of putting Garnacho on the right wing. I don't know if Erik Ten Hag has a fantasy about Garnacho or he's got a little fling for him. But at the end of the day, putting Garnacho on the right wing when he's not a right winger, does anyone think that doesn't make any sense? It doesn't make sense to me why Garnacho is on that right wing. It really, really doesn't. Because I thought Amad Diallo was meant to be the problem solver on that right wing. And he didn't play any football in his last 2 games for United. He didn't play any football really, or any minutes. And he's been subbed off at stupid periods of the game where we've been the attacking team and we've been on the attacking foot for the most of the first or second half, whatever game we want to put in context with. And he's not getting the game time. And Garnacho is one to suffer. And again, for me, Garnacho's game is suffering because Rashford is continuing to start in this team. Something's going on there. I think Ten Hag needs to realise, I need to drop Rashford. I can't carry on like this. I'm making Garnacho's career suffer. And again, if the rumours are true, that Garnacho is fed up at Man United and he's begging to get a move out of the club. If I was Garnacho and if I was in issues, I'd be putting a transfer request in and getting out of this mess. Because if you're not going to get the game time and you're being put out of position all the time and you don't want to be on that right wing and you want to be on the left, then calls have got to be decided for Erik Ten Hag. Why the hell is Rashford been starting every game? Why are you picking him when he ain't performing? Why are you picking him when he's not showing form? Why are you picking him when he's not scoring any goals? Why is Marcus Rashford getting the game time that he wants? Why is Marcus Rashford allowing to get what he likes again? Why is Rashford in this team so much when he's absolutely throwing us under the bus? I don't get it. I really, really, really am struggling to understand why Rashford is getting so much game time for Man United. I don't get it. I don't know if there's something in his contract. I don't know if he's ripping up trees in training. I mean, what is he, Percy the Park Keeper? Are we at the Chelsea Garden Show? Are we on BBC Two every afternoon and every evening? Because if he isn't ripping up trees in this team and he isn't scoring any goals, why is Marcus Rashford starting games for us? Why is Marcus Rashford getting the game time that he wants? Because against Aston Villa, he had one decent chance on goal, and that was it. We finished 0-0 against Villa, and we didn't offer any attacking threat going forward because Rashford is too selfish with the ball. Rashford hogs the ball too much. He likes to take on the opposition back four and get amongst them and try and create problems inside their penalty area. I'm sorry to say, I think the days of Marcus Rashford starting for this football club, it's got to end sooner rather than later because Garnacho's career is suffering. Garnacho has got more years ahead of him than what Marcus Rashford has at this football club. I think it would be best for both sides to depart in the summer or even in January, at least find a solution to get Marcus Rashford removed from this football club because he is holding back the development of Amad. He's holding the development back of Garnacho. And when he's selfish with the ball and there's a lack of service from Rashford into Højlund or Xerxes, whoever's starting in the striker position at top for United to put the ball in the net, when there's a lack of service to our strikers, is anybody wondering why we don't score goals? It's because our front three are being, again, imbalanced because Ten Hag's favouritism of Rashford and the lack of playing time for Garnacho. It makes no sense. For me, the front three I want to see is Ahmad, Højlund, Garnacho. That is the front three I thought we were meant to be building from. I thought that was the front three we were meant to be going with for the next 3 or 4 years. I thought the days of using Anthony and Rashford were over. I thought that was going to be brought to a complete halt. But all of a sudden, Anthony's got back in this team. Rashford keeps getting selected. Garnacho's on the bench, or even Ahmad's on the bench. That front three, it doesn't work when we play better opposition. When we play shit opposition, we absolutely turn into prime fucking Real Madrid and play really good football, and we score a heck load of goals. But when we play in the Premier League, we can't score goals because there's a lack of service from our wingers to our striker. And that is not being helped by the lack of midfield options because you've got Eriksen next to Bruno, and Bruno would really prefer Mainoo to be next to him. And then they're also doing Casemiro's job because Casemiro can't do that job at CDM anymore. So that's making Bruno and Eriksen drop more back to support him to prevent the opposition attacking the CDM role. And Casemiro can't do it. Casemiro cannot do that role for any longer. But because Agate is injured, Casemiro is going to be absolutely rubbing his hands together because he's like, right, Agate's out injured. There's more of a possibility that I'm going to get more game time than what I thought I was going to get. And I'm going to have to count myself lucky that Agate miraculously has picked up an injury for Uruguay on international duty. And I mean, I think these injuries have been coming. And again, you know, Lisandro Martinez didn't start for Argentina last night. He came off the bench on the 73rd minute for Argentina. So is there an injury problem for Lisandro Martinez? If without Martinez, then I don't know what the teams are going to consist with at the weekend. And I'm hoping the team will be, in my view, Onana, it's going to be Lindelof. It will be Martinez, Delot. I think the midfield three, we all know it's going to be Eriksen, Fernandes and Casemiro. The front three, I want it to be Højlund, Ahmad, Garnacho. That is what I would go with at the weekend. But I think Erik ten Hag is going to stick with the same team at Villa. I can't see him making any changes. The only change will be Martinez and Delot will come in. Eriksen and Casemiro will come in for Mount and Mainoo and Agate. And I think the front three changes, Garnacho comes in for Rashford on the left. Højlund comes in for Xerxes. Well, Højlund started the last game, so you can clearly show that Xerxes not enjoying it here. Xerxes has been a disaster for signing. Xerxes has been a really, really, really bad signing. It's not worked. He's not scoring goals. 8 games without a goal. Yeah, and it is true. Sir Alex Ferguson has been dismissed by the football club from his ambassador role because Ineos want to make more money-saving operations for this football club. It says a lot. It really does say a lot. So, yeah, it is true. It is correct what you're saying. Yeah, the great Sir Alex Ferguson's been dismissed by Manchester United. It makes you wonder what are Ineos up to. But yeah, like I've discussed the team. I'm discussing where do we go if we don't win against Brentford. Well, we'll sack Ten Hag. But again, I'm fearing like who do we get in? Like who do we bring in if we don't win these next 3 games? I mean, I'd love to hear your views and your opinions because we ain't getting Thomas Tuchel, and I'm gutted he's been appointed England manager. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited for the future of England because there's a world-class manager at last that England have finally appointed to probably take England to the next level we've been crying out for. And I get that, but I'm fucking devastated and I'm gutted that Ineos didn't have the balls to sack Ten Hag, dismiss him, and bring Tuchel in. And Tuchel was given reassurances about the Man United job to take it, even though he rejected it in the summer. He rejected the Man United job, but he got offered it again, and he was given reassurances on that he would get the job. But this is down to Ineos. If we lose at the weekend, Ten Hag will be gone, and this will be on Ineos. Will he get sacked if we don't win? I think we will. I think we will be on our new manager at the end of the Brentford game. I just can't see us winning. Brentford are playing too much good football. They're scoring enough goals even without Ivan Toney, and that's a worry. Maybe Ivan Toney was holding Brentford back. Maybe it's getting the best out of Mbeumo now. Maybe it is getting the best out of young players like Carvalho because those players have got a lot more responsibility now that Ivan Toney's gone. I'm not saying this is going to be I'm not saying this is going to be a good game. I'm saying this is going to be close. This is going to be a crucial win. If we lose, I think it's done. I think Ten Hag will be sacked. But again, I've gone through my team. I think score prediction-wise, I'm going to go for 2-0, but that is being optimistic because I'm just not feeling it at the moment. I'm not feeling very confident. I'm not feeling very optimistic. I'm not feeling very happy the way the things are at this football club. And I'm not happy with the way things are being run, but let's see what happens on Saturday afternoon come the full-time whistle at Old Trafford. So I hope you enjoyed this live look ahead. Please hit the like button and the share button. Please keep subscribing to the channel if you are new. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. Remember, if you put that notification bell on, we've got plenty of brand new live exclusive content planned for the rest of 2024. We are bringing Call of Duty Black Ops 6 live content to the channel once it's out on the 25th of October. We are bringing back a game that we did 2 months ago. We did a complete walkthrough of it, and it's a two-parter game. And I think everybody knows what I'm talking about, but it's a shock return for that game, and I'll explain why once we go live back with that live exclusive game. But obviously, let's try and enjoy the weekend. Let's hope Manchester United seriously get a result and get a positive win. But I think Brentford come to Old Trafford and win, and Ten Hag will be gone. That's my view. That's my opinion. This has been your Premier League look ahead for Manchester United against Brentford. Enjoy the rest of the week, people. Stay safe, be nice, and be kind to each other. You're all legends. You're all legendary. And I'll see you all on the next one.